Welcome to Scale Up University. Welcome to JavaScript Everywhere course. So this is the lecture 2 of module 1. So lecture 2 is understanding the role of a text editor. So in this lecture we will be discussing about a text editor and we'll try to understand the role of a text editor. So the learning objectives for this lecture will be to get an idea about the difference between a text editor and an integrated development environment, that is the IDE. So what's the difference between a text editor and a IDE? Then we'll discuss like the next learning objective for this lecture would be some popular choices, like popular text editor choices. Then to, we'll discuss like the learning objective for this lecture would be that appreciate why comfort and workflow matter. Like coding should not be a laborious work. Rather, it should have comfort and workflow matters. Then the next learning objective for this lecture would be why VS Code. Like in this course, we will be using Visual Studio Code and why we will be choosing it. Like what are the advantages VS Code offers over other text editors. Then we will install VS Code in different platforms like Mac operating system, Windows operating system, Linux operating system. And then the learning objective would be a walkthrough of the Visual Studio Code interface. Like we will have a walkthrough and we'll try to understand different components of VS Code that we will be making use of in our development journey. So the first topic of this lecture, so this lecture is the module 1, our development environment, and this is the lecture 2. So the first topic is what is a text editor. So if we talk about text editor, so at its core, text editor is basically a tool that allows you to create, edit, and manage plain text files. So in a text editor, which is a tool, you can create a plain text file, you can edit a plain text file, and you can manage a plain text file. So in software development, source code is a plain text. Like whatever source code you write, it's a plain text. And hence you can make use of a text editor, wherein your text editor is the place where you write logic, you read errors, you refactor code, and you navigate projects, because project also it is a collection of files only. So these files, so all this we can do. So the key characteristics of a text editor, if we talk about, text editor is very lightweight, fast startup, it's very flexible, it is customizable, and it is focused on writing text efficiently. Like it provides some features, some tools using which you can very easily manage the text. So that is a text editor. Okay, now we'll look into the next topic of this lecture, that is text editor versus IDE. So text editor we already saw, like some basic idea we got. So text editor basically is a tool wherein we can like write text files, edit text files, manage text files. So text editor, they focus on streamlined code creation and management. So text editor is used for writing code, so efficiently create and edit source code. It is used for syntax highlighting, which wherein text editor can visually distinguish code elements for better readability. It is like it also has the feature of file navigation, wherein we can quickly browse and manage project files. And text editor even got some basic debugging via plugins. So extensible plugins we can install in text editors, and that can play a role in basic error detection. And if we look at some very popular examples of text editor, we have Microsoft Visual Studio Code, which is like been used a lot all across the world. We have Sublime Text, we have Atom, which is by GitHub, we have Vim, and Emacs by GNU. So this is the text editor. If we talk about IDE, IDE stands for Integrated Development Environment. I'll write it. The full form of IDE, Integrated Development Environment, is what is IDE is. It is an all-in-one development suite. So IDE is like like it is heavyweight, and it is far more advanced than text editor. If we talk about IDE, it is an all-in-one development suite. So it's like a perfect choice for developers, because IDE, it has many more advanced features than text editor. Like IDE has a built-in compiler and interpreter, wherein in the IDE itself you can compile your code, you can build your project. But in text editor, you have to compile it using CMD, like the terminal. So this built-in compiler interpreter, it converts and executes the code within the environment itself. And it is a very powerful feature of IDE, that is the integrated development environment. And if we look at other features, so IDE comes with a debugger, so step by step code execution and error cracking. So with this debugger, you can like run the code step by step. You can just walk through the code, the at that particular state, the outputs you can display it, and you can easily track the error. Most IDEs, they are also equipped with GUI designers, that is the graphical user interface designers. So like these are like visual tools for designing user interfaces. For example, like Android Studio, it comes with GUI designer for mobile apps. And integrated development environment, they support heavy tooling. So by default, they got many tools, and they are very extensible. Like you can very easily integrate third-party tools in a IDE. So comprehensive set of integrated development tools you will get with IDE. If we look at the examples of integrated development environment, we have IntelliJ IDEA. It is by JetBrains. We have Eclipse, which is by Eclipse Foundation. We have Visual Studio, which is by Microsoft. And we have Android Studio, which is by Google. So these are like some standard examples of integrated development environment. So if we look at the key differences between text editor and integrated development environment, so when it comes to speed, so text editor is like very fast because it is lightweight. And example of text editor is VS Code. And IDE is very heavy because IDE is like it is equipped with compiler, interpreter, tools, debugger. So it is heavy. And when we talk about customization, text editor is plugin based, and IDE like predefined, like it already has got lots of inbuilt tools in it. If we talk about learning curve, for text editor, the learning curve is very low. It's very easy to use. But IDE has got a learning curve. Like if you want to use integrated development environment, some learning will be involved. The learning curve is high. If we talk about flexibility, text editor is very flexible. High flexibility for text editor, but for integrated development environment, the flexibility is medium. And text editor is best for modern JavaScript workflows, and integrated development environments, they are best for enterprise or monolithic setups. So if you want to build something like enterprise applications, monolithic applications, then you can go for integrated development environment. But if you want to build something around JavaScript, and we already saw that in the previous lecture, the first lecture of module 1, that okay, in JavaScript, we can build front end, we can build front end of a web application, back end of a web application, and we can even build mobile applications for both iOS and Android, and we can build desktop applications. So for JavaScript workflows, text editor is best. So that's the idea. Okay, now we'll look into the next topic of this lecture, common text editor options. So if we talk about some very popular text editors, so we have VS Code. So huge fan base, very diverse. It is powerful, customizable, and it's a de facto standard, VS Code. Modern workflow, extension heavy. We can very easily add extensions, and it has an integrated Git support. Now, other examples, we have Sublime Text. It is performance focused. It is fast, lightweight, distraction free, speed, efficiency, and keyboard centric workflow. Then we have Atom. So Atom is very popular among open source enthusiasts because it is like by GitHub. Atom is like hackable. It is community driven, and it is like now depreciated by GitHub. Now GitHub is not managing Atom, and it is highly customizable because it's like open source. It is modular, and it is electron based. If we talk about Vim, it is efficiency obsessed, steep learning curve, unmatched speed once mastered. So Vim is something, it has got a learning curve and very fast. If you want like very fast development, then you can go with Vim. So modal editing, keyboard only, and command based. So Vim, it is command based, no graphical user interface, and hence it's very lightweight and very fast actually. Other text editors are comparatively very heavy when you compare it with Vim, because Vim is no GUI, it is command based. Then we have Emacs. So it's like Lisp hackers, extremely extensible, and OS within an editor, highly programmable, text based, and complex key binding. And we have Notepad++ that is there in Windows. So for Windows user, it's a very ideal text editor. It is used for quick edit needs. It is simple, fast, reliable for basic tasks, and lightweight, and it has got multi-language support. So these are like some important and common text editor options you have. Now the important truth is that there is no best editor. Only the editor that works best for you is the best. So the idea is that if you want to decide, okay, what editor you should use, there is no best option. It depends on the context. So the goal is comfort plus productivity and not trend following. So the idea is that you should pick up the text editor you feel comfortable in using. You should not follow the trend, because most of the people might be using VS Code. But if you are very much comfortable in command writing, like using command prompts and all that, then Vim might be more comfortable for you. And if you are a sort of a person who likes user interface, then maybe Atom or VS Code might be more suitable for you. So the idea is that uh, you have to decide. So you can look into the fan base, like dedicated user communities. You can look into the opinions, like debates on features, and you can look into different workflows, varied approaches to coding. But the idea is that you have to decide, and comfort plus productivity will matter a lot in software development. Okay, now we'll jump into the next topic of this lecture, that why personal comfort matters. So the idea is that your text editor is where you will spend hours per day, thousands of lines of code you will write, and countless debugging sessions. So this is a very important discussion we are making. So the text editor is the place wherein you will be spending hours per day. Like every day you will be spending lots and lots of hours, right? Building a project, building a product, writing thousands of lines of code, and countless debugging sessions. So definitely discomfort will be the friction. It will cause fatigue, frustration, loss of focus, and avoidable mistakes you can make. And comfort enables the flow. If you are very comfortable while coding, faster thinking, flow state, confidence, and enjoyment, all this you will get. So the idea is that the tool you are using, the editor you are using will play a role. So that's why choose the editor you are comfortable in. Because if you are very much comfortable in using the text editor, then you will enjoy the coding process. You will feel very confident, faster thinking. So, and one more like very important discussion, because see, if you are using a modern editor, it comes with some settings, like you can change the theme, dark, light themes. You can change the font size and family. You can also make use of keyboard shortcuts to make your life easy. And you can also choose options like minimal user interface or feature rich user interface, whatever you feel comfortable in. So a comfortable editor is the key. A comfortable editor reduces mental friction. So that is very important actually, because editor is the place where you will be spending most of your time. So you have to be like having a very good environment where you will be coding. So make use of the theme, like the available features, and become very comfortable. And once you're comfortable, then that will enable faster thinking, flow state, confidence, and enjoyment. Okay, now we will look into the next topic of this lecture, that is introduction to VS Code. So basically in this course, we will be using Visual Studio Code as our editor. Now VS Code, it is a modern open source text editor. So it is like built and managed, like it is developed by Microsoft. But now, like since it's open source, it is fully community driven. It's open source. It is widely adopted in the industry. So that is something very interesting about VS Code. Even big companies, they use VS Code as their text editor. So it's a global standard, and it is very much dominant in JavaScript development. So if you want to like be a JavaScript developer, then VS Code is like one of the best option for you. And since it is open code, open source, Visual Studio Code, the full form of VS Code is Visual Studio Code. It is free. That is something, one of the reason for its popularity, because free of cost you can just download it, install it, and start using it. It is open source, cross platform. So VS Code is available for all the important platforms like Windows, Mac, Linux, and it is modern text editor. It is fast and flexible. So these are like some of the very important reasons to choose VS Code. Okay, now we look into the next topic of this lecture, why VS Code is recommended in this course. Like why in this course we are using VS Code. Uh, so that is the idea. So we already saw that okay, VS Code is cross platform. So it runs on Mac, Windows, Linux, and the good thing is that every like in every platform, same shortcuts, same extensions, same workflows. And it is crucial for online courses, team collaboration, avoiding OS specific confusion. It is open source, like free of cost. You can use it. Transparent development, community driven improvements, and no vendor lock-in. This is something very important, because VS Code, since no ownership is there, so no vendor locking will happen in VS Code. It is community driven. So it aligns with JavaScript culture, and it aligns with open source mindset of the book, like the open source mindset of this course. It aligns with that. Extension ecosystem. Like in VS Code, you can easily integrate third-party plugins. So VS Code starts minimal, then grows with you. So extensions enable JS and TS intelligence, Git integration, Prettier and ESLint, React and React Native tooling, GraphQL support, debugging tools, and the list will just go on and on. So VS Code adapts to you, not the other way around. So this is the idea, because in one of the lecture we saw that okay, as a developer we should start very simple. As a developer we should start very simple, like just start with the most important tools, and then when you feel like okay you need more power, then keep on adding extensions to make your life easy. So VS Code enables that. It supports that. And VS Code is built with JavaScript. So one of the most inspiring fact is that Visual Studio Code itself is built using JavaScript, TypeScript, web technologies, and hence it reinforces the core theme that JavaScript truly runs everywhere, and that is the course itself, JavaScript everywhere. So since VS Code in itself is made using JavaScript, it is one of the ideal choice to use VS Code for JavaScript development. Okay, now we will discuss installing VS Code, installing Visual Studio Code. So see, the idea is that for different operating systems, the installation process is different. Definitely, we are not going to install the VS Code in this lecture, but I will give you an idea. Very easily, you can install it. So for Mac operating system, you just have to visit the official website of VS Code. Just Google VS Code, official website you will get, and there you will get the installer for Mac OS. Just download the installer and install. For install, what you do, whatever installer you got, you just drag it and drop it in the application folder and just launch it from the application. From application, just launch that, click on that icon, and then you will see VS Code in action. And you can enable command line also. Just add a code command to your path. Then from command line also you can access the VS Code. And similarly for Mac OS also, like get the Windows installer from the official website of VS Code. Just run the installer and just choose all the default settings and add to path and all that. And just keep on doing next, next, next. And yeah, once it is installed, just click on the icon and start, launch it. That is the Windows. And for Linux, like there are variety of distributions are there, like Debian, RPM packages, Snap, or package manager. So using any package manager, you can very easily install VS Code. So VS Code is officially supported and installation is straightforward in Linux. In Linux, though, no need to go to any website and all, just any standard package manager, you use it. And from there in the terminal itself, you can install it, VS Code. So installation of VS Code is very easy. Okay, now we will be doing the walkthrough. Like once you install the VS Code, now we will look at how it looks, the VS Code. The walkthrough we will do. So when you launch the VS Code, you will see something like this. So I am using Mac OS. Like regardless of the operating system, we already saw VS Code will look like this only in every operating system. So in the left side, as you can see my mouse pointer, so this is like the Explorer, like the File Explorer. Then we have this. So File Explorer is like from here you can like manage the project, like the files and all that. So that is it. Then you have search, like you can search something. Then for source control, you have this Git, integrated Git. We already saw that in VS Code, Git is integrated. Then run and debug. And very important is this extension. So this is like the marketplace wherein you can get extensions, like and like lots of extensions are available. You can very easily get it. And when you click on the file, like this is the editor area actually. So this is the main coding area wherein you will be writing the code, and this supports multiple tabs. Like if multiple files are there, you can just open it side by side. All that you can do. It supports syntax highlighting, this editor area. Like you can just, now in the bottom we have this status bar. The very tiny blue bar is there. So it gives us some information about the current file. And very important is the integrated terminal. So on top you see some options like file, edit, selection. So terminal. So new terminal. And this is the very powerful feature of VS Code, the integrated terminal. So it's a built-in terminal. No need to switch apps. Here only I can use a terminal. So this is like the basic walkthrough we did of VS Code. So finally, we completed this lecture. So In this lecture, we saw what is a text editor, what is an integrated development environment, and we saw the difference between the both. And we saw that, okay, for our course, we will be using the VS Code because our course is JavaScript everywhere, and Visual Studio Code is the best option, best choice for JavaScript development. And we saw how to install VS Code in different platforms. And we did a very basic walkthrough also to get a feel of the editor. And we saw like how important is the comfort and the flow, because the text editor you will be using to code is the place where you will be spending hours every day. You will be writing thousands of lines of code. So that space, that place has to be like very comfortable for you. So VS Code, we had a walkthrough, and we saw that, okay, VS Code has got lots of support, and wherein you can change the theme and all, also the font size, the theme, everything you can change. So yeah, so that's the idea. So finally we completed this lecture. I hope you got a very good understanding of the concepts which we discussed. So subscribe to our YouTube channel Scale Up University for more such interesting lectures and courses. So thanks for watching, thanks for your time.